Welcome to the Growth Project podcast. I'm Dr. Gabby Caviedes, and today I'm going to be walking you through our Growth Spurt episode focused on creating recovery routines. So to kind of kick us off here, I want to start the conversation by thinking about, what do you think of when you hear rest? Is it something that you earn? Something that you avoid because maybe you feel like it equates to laziness or a lack of productivity? And just start to ask yourself these questions. When you hear the word rest, how does it resonate with you? What we see in the literature is that oftentimes high performers treat recovery as optional. It's not a priority. It's something that if we have time for it, then we do it. So today in our Growth Spurt, I want to shift the focus onto making rest more of a priority for your performance. This lack of recovery that we're seeing in the world and the business domain and the sports domain, it's really a hidden performance limiter. You don't recover when you have time. You recover when you make time for it. So just like anything else that's important in your life, you have to make time for it. Otherwise, you're going to push it to the side. So let's break down why recovery matters. Well, if you wait to recover until you're feeling burnt out or you have an injury or you're exhausted, it's a little too late. You've already hindered your performance. So what we want to teach you to do is to create and establish a routine of rest where you have a new connotation with rest, where it's a daily practice, a habit that you engage in regularly to prevent burnout, to prevent injury, to prevent exhaustion. And so let's kind of talk through what that routine could look like. If you're taking notes, this is a great time to jot a couple things down. There's really 3 key things you need to keep in mind when establishing your recovery routine. The first is naming the load, identifying what the stress you're dealing with is and what you need to recover from. There's a variety of different demands that we experience: physical demands, cognitive demands, emotional demands, and these different stressors need different types of recovery. So the first thing you need to do when establishing your recovery routine is identify what the type of demand is you need to recover from. That's step 1. Step 2 is design the routine. When are you going to rest? Is it going to be on a weekend? Is it going to be when you get home from work or first thing in the morning when you wake up? And where does it live in your day-to-day life? Is it something that you do independently, something you do with your spouse, something you do with your kids? In what environment are you going to rest in? Is it going to be outdoors, indoors? Is it going to be in isolation where you're listening to music, watching a movie? Some examples here to think of are your end-of-day shutdown. This could be what you do the last hour of your day to detach from the demands of your day, whether that be physical, mental, or emotional. Do you silence your phone for that last hour? Do you go through a skincare routine? Do you just have conversations that are unrelated to stress? Something else you could do is a decompression walk. So that's something where the domain has shifted. Now you're outdoors and you're getting some time in nature, and maybe that's how you rest and feel recovered. No input mornings is another example. So spending the first hour of your day not on your phone, not listening to the news or any stimulus, just really being present and grounded. This is really the second step, is identifying now what your rest practice will be. And then the third and final piece is to keep it small. You want to avoid aspirational recovery. So avoid this notion of needing to spend days recovering. A lot of times we hear, gosh, I just need a week off. I just need a week to recover, a week away from work, a week away from the stress of family or kids or school or whatever it is that you're dealing with. And that mentality is not what we're getting at here. What we're getting at is daily practice of rest, sustainable recovery, things that you can do every single day to prevent that need for excessive long-term recovery, right? So a practice here would be to set a goal of 10 minutes daily versus 90 minutes a month, right? So instead of needing an hour and a half away, you just need 10 minutes every morning. The key principle here is that consistency is greater than intensity. The more consistent you are with your rest practices, the more recovered you will feel in the long term. So now we've got the 3 steps, but why is this hard? Why do people struggle with rest? And, the first thing is we feel guilty, right? We feel like there's something we should be doing. We have this to-do list, and there's always the next thing we could be doing. And so when we take time for ourselves to not think about our to-do list, to not stress, and it creates what we call this productivity monster in our mind, where we start to beat on ourselves for not getting things done. And then we've got the fear of falling behind. If I don't stay on top of things, maybe Susie at work is going to be working harder and surpass me. Maybe she's working, 50 hours a week, and I took an hour off, so I only worked 49, and now I'm worried that she's going to get the promotion and I'm not. This fear of falling behind. And then our identity being tied to our productivity. When we are strictly basing our identities in the need for results, this makes rest even more challenging, because when we aren't producing, we feel like a failure. So this is why it's so important to create rest as a goal. It is something that you achieve and that you implement regularly. So to kind of close us out here, recovery does not steal your performance. It does not make you lazy. It does not detract from your worth. In fact, it does quite the opposite. It protects it. It protects your performance, protects your productivity. So this week, if you're listening and thinking, okay, well, what's one thing I can do? Ask yourself this question and try to apply it throughout the week here. What's one recovery routine you'll protect this week? Is it going for a walk on your lunch break outside? Is it, listening to music on the car drive home and not hearing your phone ping? Is it spending the first hour in the morning going through your morning routine without any interruptions and allowing yourself that time to detach? Whatever it is, spend some time identifying that and then making it a priority this week, and see the growth that happens from that. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Growth Spurt, and look forward to the next one. Thanks, guys.